In addition to that, we just found out within the last hour that De'Aaron Fox officially named a Western Conference All-Star. That's big time stuff.
Dude,
that's big time stuff.
Super excited. That was the next reason why I didn't wake up to that news, but obviously coming into the station with that news, I feel really happy. He deserves it. It's been a long time coming. It's great.
It's been a long time since the Kings had two All-Stars, too. I mean, you have to go back to like Peja and Miller. I know Peja and Weber did it before. Weber and Vlade did it before. But it hasn't happened a lot. Those names, we're talking like 20 years. So the fact that De'Aaron has been officially named as an injury replacement on the All-Star team is a big deal. He wasn't the only one. Anthony Edwards also named. And then in the Eastern Conference, Pascal Siakam was named. He'll be replacing Kevin Durant, I guess, who's now in the West, which is weird, and he is not playing in the All-Star game.
So weird.
Let's talk about this for Fox, though, and what this means, because a little over a year ago, before the Halliburton trade happened, a lot of people were down on De'Aaron Fox.
Oh,
a lot
yes.
of people wondering if he was the guy. So many people were upset, like, oh, man, they chose Fox instead of Halliburton at the deadline. People are really down. He was in year 5. People wanted to see a leap. They wanted to see wins. They did not see that. We fast forward a year. The Kings have not one, but 2 All-Stars, including Fox. Halliburton's an All-Star with Indiana. You could make the case that those 3 players would not be All-Stars if they were still in their current spots.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy to think about. When you think about De'Aaron Fox as an All-Star, what do you think made him an All-Star in your eyes this year?
I think his ability to, I mean, that's super specific, but his ability to get to his spots and make the shot, right? We saw after so many years, his reputation was being one of the fastest players in the league, but what was he going to do with that speed? How was he going to capitalize on having that athleticism, that speed? And this year, he took it to a whole nother level by becoming efficient, by being able to tell opposing defenses, I'm going to go there and I'm going to make this shot. It doesn't matter if you're in my way or not. He's been able to do that on such a high level. And then on top of that, you shove it in the fourth quarter and you realize how important of a player he is, how impactful of a player he is in a fourth quarter against the best teams and the worst teams. I think those are the things that really put him over the edge with so many people that have a vote and have been watching the NBA.
I think the other thing is all aspects of his game have improved. You know, it's more efficient, better free throw percentage too. It's his defense, his leadership. And oh, by the way, the Kings are winning games. So you add all that together, it makes sense. I mean, I thought he should have been an All-Star before. It doesn't matter. He's in the game now, and the Kings, who would have thought a year ago we'd be like, hey, Kings fans, I know this team's lost like 7 in a row, but trust me, this time next year, you'll have 2 All-Stars. No one would have believed it, and that's what makes sports amazing. Sometimes you can't predict it.
Me, you, and Chris, we were in the other room before the show started, and I was like making some graphic or something and just putting the Kings have 2 NBA All-Stars. And I was like, you guys, this is really cool right now. This is cool to be typing this out. This is cool to be talking about this. And I think for a lot of other people that cover this league and cover really good teams and are used to covering wins and all-stars and the top players in the league, like they become jaded a little bit, right? You don't realize, you go, oh, that's great for the organization. That's great for the city. But truly, here in Sacramento, how I felt today with that announcement of De'Aaron Fox, I just felt super proud. It feels really good to finally feel like we are in that conversation. I say we because it feels like all of us that have consumed this product for so long and have battled through all the bad times to stick around for all these good moments.
So you're Sacramento proud?
I'm hashtag Sacramento proud.
And these 2 join not a ton of other All-Stars in the Kings 38 years in Sacramento. You had Mitch multiple times. You had Chris Weber. You had Vlade. You had Peja. You had Brad Miller.
Okay.
And then you had DeMarcus Cousins. You add De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis to the list. I think it's cool. It acknowledges, one, how long have we been just watching All-Star weekends? It's like, hey, well, the Kings have someone in the Rising Stars game.
Yeah.
Now they've got 2 players in the actual game, and it's just fun. It's awesome. And I think it's a moment, like you said, that like if you're a Kings fan today, you should be proud. You should be excited. You should be grateful that the Kings drafted an All-Star, right? That's the other thing. Like Sabonis was not drafted by the Kings, and they haven't drafted a lot of All-Stars, right?
Nope.
Peja was the one, DeMarcus, and now De'Aaron Fox.
Okay, here's my question. Going into this season, since you and I have obviously been covering this team pretty close for a while now, every year with De'Aaron, I would feel this hope with him, and I'd be like, could this be the year? And then each year you'd see maybe something improve, but then he just wouldn't stay consistent. Before this year started, were you going into this season going, I think this could be the year De'Aaron can be an all-star?
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing with the Kings and all-star chances, it was simple. If you win, I think it's because Fox and Sabonis are playing good basketball. And if you're winning and they're playing good basketball, they're going to have a shot at the all-star game. You know, Sabonis has obviously done it before, his 3rd appearance. I just thought, hey, if Fox plays well and the Kings are legitimately like above 500, they're going to have a shot. You know, that's how I looked at it. I mean, we start talking about all-stars, and De'Aaron, even if he didn't make the all-star team, he's an all-star caliber player in this league. A guy that gets you 25 a game, who's efficient, gets to the mid-range game. You mentioned the clutch numbers in the 4th quarter. I'm like, that guy's a stud. Yeah. Right? But to be named, to actually get that honor, you got to win a little bit. I think, especially when you're in Sacramento and there's been so much losing, you have to give these voters a reason to put you in. And then Silver, who had them ultimately make the decision on the replacements, you got to know what's going on in your league. And he knew guys like Anthony Edwards, De'Aaron Fox, they deserve to be in.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that they're getting the recognition that they deserve. And I think the most interesting thing about all of this, though, is that you're seeing this season with the Kings have 2 guys named NBA All-Stars now. You have them at 3rd in the Western Conference, and then you have just crap hit the fan, right? With everything that happened at trade deadline. And I say that because even today, while I'm listening to some national basketball podcasts, not a mention of the Sacramento Kings when talking about, you know, teams in the West and what playoffs and what teams are going to do.
Yeah, I think most people look at Sacramento in that number 3 spot right now and go, yeah, that's cute.